Hey everyone, welcome to my medieval Dynasty single player. This is actually my very first blind playthrough of the game. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Right now we're on day 69 in-game, which translates to about 250 hours of real playtime. We have the latest edition I built above the main city, which I made because I had a particular King's challenge. I needed milk, and I haven't had cows or goats up until last year. Since I had no clue what I was doing at the start, I settled down here right by the lake. I figured a village on the water would look beautiful, and being right in the center of the map felt like a smart idea. Spoiler. It was a bit of a struggle in the early and mid game, but looking back now in the late game it turned out to be the perfect spot. As we come up here on the outskirts, you can see the fields. This was actually all fields, but I massively dialed back on farming when I unlocked the windmill. The balanced rock piece, I really wanted to integrate this once in my world. I guess it's modeled after the Finnish Kumakivi. I tweaked the windmill a bit, added wooden pier pieces and a fence around the base, plus a privy and a tilted wood shed on the side, just to give the building a more elaborate shape. Next to the winter barn is a little farmer's market. And for the whole town I went with a black and red theme for the banners and most of the buildings. Tried to keep the surroundings here more barren and rocky to contrast the city's vibe. When I first started I actually tried laying out the city in a grid, but I realized pretty quickly that this wasn't gonna work in this game, so instead I embraced a more organic growth, like a little woodland hamlet, lush and tucked away right into the forest. We are now coming through the west entrance along the path that the game naturally connects to Danica. The first stop is the small food stall, meant for hungry travelers coming in or heading out of the town. And here we have the city's first smithy and the most prestigious market stall where elite swords are sold. Off to the side stands the main barn, and from here we get that nice view straight up towards the windmill. We strolled through the farmers district, the very first part of the city I built. To set it apart I kept the house wooden instead of upgrading them. And on the right are the stables, where I keep my first horse, though later I traded it, once I came across this black one. Into the living quarter, with some extraction buildings and the finest sewing hut of the city. Quick tap on the inspector mode to give a glimpse of the deco clutter I placed. Adding flower pots to the city alone took me about 5 hours. We got a little community privy area here, which I like a lot, although it's not much. Left side at the front of the sewing hut with the dyed clothes hanging to dry. And here we are at the main market square. Once I saw the majestic tree seedling, I knew it had to go in the middle, and to make it pop even more I made this pattern with planks around it. Also, the marketplace has to be traversable with carts even on rainy days, so some fortification felt right for the main roads. I didn't want the planks to be placed too precisely, so I tried to make it look somewhat makeshift. It's the Middle Ages at last. Coming up at the view, it made me decide to settle here. Oop! The red house is the first house I built, and Rasimir still lived in it. The pier area could use some more work, but I'm somewhat clueless on how to improve it. Added a little wooden terrace to my first house, which I could have done to more buildings in hindsight, but it wasn't on my radar for the first 150 hours of gameplay or so. Riding along the district's woodshed and firewood supplier, past the pier, to the fishing huts, onto the little side trail to the herbalist's hut and hunter's lodge. Added lots of flower pots here, and arranging them was kind of fun. Hunter's Lodge is nothing special, the terrain here was a bitch to work with. Entering now from the east gate, I fortified the hill with a stone wall to prevent mudslides onto the road and into the tavern. We got a strict no weapon policy, and of course the tavern has to be in the black and red color scheme. Now entering the animal husbandry district, which I felt fitting in a medieval town. People really didn't give a crap about living next to farm animals, and it. Some houses here are pretty rustic to make it more distinct. Donkey stable right in the middle of the district with my old donkey, which is by now over 25 years old and literally carried the early game so hard. One of my favorite little nooks in the city is this beekeeper's home. Feels very cozy. This little alley connects the market square and the food court. The entire city lives off white bread, cheese and water, although cheese mostly gets sold, which leaves them with bread and water. It would be great if people had more diverse food needs, but as the game is coded, I can't be bothered feeding them fish tarts and plum wine. Tried to keep some natural spots in my village, and the addition of the place I built berry bushes lately greatly improves the look of the village. Also, almost all trees here are placed by hand. This is basically my town center, with the game's generated paths through the city. Still enjoying the view down to the lake from here. Naturally, the main storage has to be near the quick travel post. I created a wooden floor with planks in front of it to make it look more like carts could go up there more easily. Leading up to the little crafting hub here is Vasimir crafting his swords. Probably would need 5 more of these to accommodate for the iron my 3 mining outposts are creating, but I'm not planning to take the safe game any further. Final bit of the main city is the plum tree orchard and this little vendor near the self-built road into the city. The windmill got placed there for exactly this point of view, which I quite enjoy. Now I got 3 more little mine outposts to show if you like. The first one is connected via a self-made highway. Here's the location on the map. As we enter, we got a food storage and a little logistic area. And this settlement was quite tricky to build due to the terrain. Basically I used every available building spot here except one right in front of the mine entrance. It took me over 2 hours to figure out where it was even possible to build in the surroundings of the mine, and I found this setup in the end. Another pain in the butt was this walkway due to building limitations, so it ended up as this abomination of a wooden construct. And so this is the only space where 3 houses could fit near each other that I found. I needed 3 houses to have the maximum 6 workers in the mine, but I'm quite pleased with the look of the little mountaintop settlement. I didn't want to over-decorate here, and especially not too many plants, so it came out this way. You can see the mine entrance from up here and how far spaced the buildings had to be. "5x time-lapse to the next mining outpost, the one I built last." On the map here you can see it's not too far from my main city. Overall it's pretty basic, 3 houses to fill the mine and the storage, which was needed so I don't have to carry all the building materials here. Now to my first and favorite mining post. This is the mine I was extracting from in the early game by hand and the first cave I found on the map. Had the plan pretty early on to flesh this one out to a small fortified outpost with a blacksmith and a weapon vendor. This is also why I went with the black and red color scheme, since I think it looks awesome for a settlement like this. It doesn't really match my main city, a green and brown or orange banner would be better there, but this cave mainly paved my way on this playthrough. We got a little campfire near this wooden shelter, the storage as close as possible to the mine entrance, and a smithy and a well and a woodshed. I tried working in more stone walls here, since this would be the logical material to use in the settlement. Houses here are all fully painted and were the first houses that I also decorated inside. By now all houses are decorated inside, of course. Now, for who's interested, I got some player stats. I made 1.7 million by now and 80k Dynasty points. Population count is at 100, with 26 of them still being kids, and 97 buildings placed. I pay about 10.5k taxes each year, which my market stalls easily rake in a day. Concerning my game settings, since I played this blind and was basically no communication to others, I played on the base settings for the first 10 years until I unlocked every building. Then I found out that you can customize your game, and I turned on fast crafting and building and changed the season length to 2 days. All other parameters I left unchanged. Overall it was a great experience and I enjoyed it a lot. But now I'm at a point where I feel I finished with the save file, and this video was the final thing I wanted to do to get closure for good. If you stayed to the end, thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed it.